and then I'm going to cook them, and then somehow I'm going to make something awesome. It's crazy because the Aztecs and the Mayans used to harvest cocoa beans, and they ate them, which is disgusting because they're incredibly bitter. And they used to grind them into powder and mix them with hot water and make a cocoa drink, and sometimes add like sugar cane or something. But sometimes they just powder it up and make it into small cakes of raw cocoa powder, which would have been unbelievably bitter, like eating cooking chocolate. Somebody must have had a lot of spare time in his hands.
Well, what else did you do in the ancient times?
I don't know. No. I can just imagine his friends saying, hey, what are you doing with those things? Why aren't you doing something useful like growing corn, right? At least we can eat it.
Which part of Australia or city?
Western Australia. Great people. Yeah. Perth. Okay, you got probably the two cities you know. Probably the three cities you would know. You would know Brisbane, Sydney, and Melbourne, right?
And Adelaide.
Yeah, and Adelaide. Okay, Adelaide's one of my favourite cities. Adelaide's one of my favourite cities. Start right over here in the west. Perth. That's where I was born. Now, go west about 3,500 kilometres and you find Adelaide. And then drive another 750 kilometres west and you get Melbourne. From Melbourne, go northeast about 1,100 kilometres and you find Sydney. Then drive for a couple of days and you'll get to, well actually not a couple of days, maybe about 10 hours or so and you'll get to Brisbane, up north. I lived in Perth for 8 years, then my family moved to Tasmania, which is a little island underneath Australia, underneath Melbourne. So we got in the car and we drove from Perth to Melbourne. It took us a week. Driving about 10, 11 hours a day. Fortunately, when you get out in the country, it's nothing but road, so
Just straight shot.
that part of Australia has Australia's longest straight road. 90 miles with no turns. Yeah. 90 miles with no turns. It just goes straight.
But if you've been speeding for an hour, you think you drive 90 miles per hour.
Yeah. So even if you're traveling 90 miles an hour, it would take you an hour before you saw another turn. You pass signs that say stuff like, last gas station for the next 150 kilometers. Better get some gas.
那我们刚刚看完了这支美丽的表演之后，接下来呢，我们要表演的故事跟舞蹈给小朋友听。接下来我们要欢迎的是来自我们故事岛儿童学习童乐园。那故事岛其实童乐园呢，它是一个让孩子们能够快乐学习、健康成长的亲子园地，专门是针对0岁到8岁的小宝贝。所以呢，如果你家里有小孩子呢，才这个年纪呢是在0到8岁这个档次呢，今天呢看到。 到我们这个表演，有兴趣的可以去多多的了解我们的故事岛儿童学习童乐园哦。它这边有活泼的互动的方式呢，多元的创意课程，就是希望能让宝贝们培养出满满的创造力。而今天现场呢，我们的
I mean, the whole of Australia is amazingly flat, right?
会是什么样精彩表演呢？也让我们一起拭目以待。我们欢迎我们的故事岛学习童乐园的郭老师，谢谢。
You know, have you heard of Ayers Rock? Ayers Rock. Australia is like flat, all desert, and then there's an enormous rock, and then it's really flat again. Nearly in the middle of Australia. These rocks about, I don't know, about a 10-story high rock. There's an enormous, great big. This is really weird because right in the middle of the desert, this is an enormous rock. It's like, okay, who dropped that there? Miles around, all the way to the horizon. There's like absolutely nothing higher than like 6 feet. No trees or anything. And there's this enormous rock right in the middle. I'm pretty sure it's actually the largest single mass rock in the earth. Hi, how you going? Hello, beautiful. 好久不见。帮你拍一下好不好？
又是谁在讲话？举手一下，我看一下是谁。哇，谁？都没有人举手，不好意思，哪里我？是谁又讲话了？来，我念一次，念一次，拍拍手。又是谁在说话？谁？哪边？对，喊声音就可以来拿礼物，真的就是你来到前面来拿礼物一下。
就是你。
不要紧张，真的来送个榴弹给你。
谢谢。
对呀，来，好，都有说谢谢，来，这手拍拍手。是谁在说话？哪一位？都没有说我是谁？是你刚才来到这边拿礼物。
Actually, 75% of Australia's population lives in only 25% of the land area. If you draw a line between Adelaide and Sydney, that's 75% of the population. Yeah, about 75% of Australia is basically uninhabited. We don't use it. It's basically useless.
No farms or anything? Or just
well, there are some out in the outback. There are some cattle farms. Not many. In Western Australia, for example, which is the biggest state, probably 90% of the land in Western Australia, which is about 20 times the size of Taiwan, it's basically uninhabited, except for mining companies. Western Australia is just a great big desert with rocks and minerals. Pretty much anything. The one thing about Australia's like, I don't know, it looks like the kind of country that somebody decided to make when they finished everywhere else and made everything look beautiful, and they had a whole bunch of leftover stuff. They're like, okay, first of all, what am I going to do with all this sand? Well, let's just stuff it over here. Oh no, I got that idiotic rock. Oh, just throw it in the middle of the sand. Oh no, now I've got all these bits and pieces of animals that don't even go together. Well, I'll just stick them together any old way and make things that don't look like anything else on the whole planet. Oh, look at this. Let's get something that looks like a possum and put the front of a duck on it and then put it in the water. Yeah, that'll make them think. I mean, there are animals in Australia you literally do not find anywhere else in the world. And for pretty good reason, because everyone would laugh at them. When the English scientists came to Australia and they were getting really excited and they were killing these animals and they would stuff them and send them back to Australia, to England to study, and scientists in England would say, "Are you kidding me? This is not even a real animal." And they literally thought they were fake. They said, "Oh, come on, you just took the front end of that thing and put it on the back of that, right? Seriously, this is not even a real animal." And they couldn't believe these things were real. And like, no, totally, I swear, it's like, they're all over the place here. It's like, oh, get out of here. And then, you know, we've got the weirdest stuff, like, and then nearly everything in Australia is trying to kill you. Like the 10 most venomous snakes in the world I think 6 of them are in Australia.
Only in Australia.
We have nearly all the spiders, right?
Jellyfish.
We have the jellyfish and the shark. There's a tiny octopus called the blue ring octopus, which is deadly, right? There's this shellfish that looks really beautiful until it shoots this dart into you, which kills you inside a minute. And then you heard of Steve Irwin? Right, well, we all know about him, right? Oh, look, there's a stingray. Oh, my heart. 2 minutes later, he's dead. So you can see why they used to send convicts there. This will fix you guys. And then you got all these animals that look really cute, and firstly are not even cute, and secondly are not even friendly. Like koalas, for example, right? Let's move over here. Yeah, good idea. Okay, koalas, right? We call them koala bears, which is ridiculous because they're not even bears. You know what they are related to? The kangaroo.
Kangaroo?
Yes, I'm not joking. They're cousins.
And one's in a tree and one's...
Go figure. Australian animals, right? They don't even plan this stuff, right? They just do whatever. And then, you know, koalas have a pouch like the kangaroo. Yeah. They're marsupials, right? They give birth to live young, but they carry them in a pouch. They're just confused. And then you've got the echidna that looks like a hedgehog or a porcupine, only it's a monotreme. And monotremes are like, they're the kind of animal that just wanted to be annoying. Because you know, the whole point about, you got mammals, right? One definition of a mammal, it gives birth to live young and it gives milk, right? And then you got reptiles and they lay eggs. Okay. Well, the echidna said, well, how about I lay eggs and also give milk to my babies? Ah, how about that? Now what are you going to do? You're like, scientists all over the world say, don't even want to talk to you. So that's what's called a monotreme. It's like a seriously mixed up animal. So we got all these kind of like half-breed animals. And then, like I said, they look really cool and cute and everyone thinks they can go and hug them, and they're wild animals and you're not even allowed to do that. For example, if you see a koala in the wild, right, you don't go and hug the koala. Well, okay, let's put it this way. Koalas are big, thick, fat, heavy animals, right? They climb trees really well because they have claws this long and incredibly strong, muscular arms. So, if you want to walk up to a koala looking like a tree, then good luck, because you're going to get torn to bits. And if you don't even have to make the koala angry, you just have to make it nervous. The first thing it's going to do is scratch. And the first place it's going to scratch is your face. And all of a sudden, you know, your eyeballs are hanging around your knees. So when a lot of zoos, when they let people pat their koalas, they actually sedate them first. They actually give them injections to keep them safe. That's a practice that's not very common now because they found some better ways of managing it, like timing, take it when they're sleepy or something, because it's not really polite to the koala. But yeah, but the bottom line is the reason why is because koalas are wild animals and they're completely unpredictable, and you can't just run up and hug them and think they're going to hug you back, right? Kangaroos are even worse. You know, you have to train dogs to hunt kangaroos because usually dogs will run away from kangaroos because they're so smart, because they know kangaroos are dangerous. Kangaroos are always wild. See, this is the other thing. This is the other thing that people couldn't figure out for a long time in Australia. We have all these animals. You can't use any of them for anything, right? In Australia, there's no horse, there's no camel, no donkey, no ox, no cow, not even any chickens or pig. And everyone's got chickens and pigs, come on, right? So there's no domestic no native domestic animals in Australia at all. So for 40,000 years, the native people were sitting around like, nice to have a cow. If I even knew what a cow was, you know. I had nothing. So this is one of the reasons people gradually realised why technology in Australia kind of froze for 40,000 years. Because humans can only get so far on their own. And then you start needing to carry a lot of heavy stuff. And then it's donkey time, or horse time, or ox time, right?
Did you train the kangaroos too?
Well, you can't. The native people spent 40,000 years with these things. I didn't get anywhere because they're just not domesticable. So, and you couldn't breed them or anything. First of all, how on earth are you going to try and kick them? You can try and build a fence? Good luck with that. They can jump 3 meters high. Or they can jump 5 meters across. They jog at 35 kilometers an hour. And when they want to get serious, they go to 70 kilometers an hour. Only for a short time, but hey, a whole lot longer than you. So, the native people in Australia had only one domesticated animal, and that was the dog. And they brought that from Papua New Guinea. That wasn't even native to Australia. They actually introduced the dog. So, a whole bunch of useless animals that don't lay eggs you can eat, or like cows. Oh, here, have some grass. And the cow's like, no problem. Here's a 20-kilogram steak. Oh, thanks. Look at that. Come on. Cows are incredible. I still can't understand it. I tried to eat grass, and it's disgusting for one thing. And it's like, I don't understand what on earth it has got in it so cows can get so big. Seriously. There's something in cows that must be like some kind of black box. It's like a meat-making machine. It makes meat out of grass. Or, you know what that is? I call that black magic. Meat out of grass, are you kidding me? I've seen grass. Doesn't look anything like meat. I still don't understand how you can get 500 kilograms of cow out of a couple of tons of grass. But the native people had nothing like that. So they were basically stuck. The technology was a level. You can only move what you can carry. And then there's the next thing they discovered. You know how the native people grew wheat in Australia? They didn't, because there was no wheat. Not even any wheat. Australia has no native grain plants. No corn, no maize, no wheat, no barley. Nothing you can plant one and get more. Right? I don't know. It's like I said, this was the last place they made. And it was like, no, we're all out of wheat. Sorry. Here, have some dodgy little berries that I will put out in the desert. You know, where you've got to walk for 20 kilometers. And then berries. Excellent. Great thing. How about berries? Great. Guess what happens when you plant berries? They die. Don't even give you a berry bush. Well, they would if you could sit there long enough for watering them. And no one's got time for that, and no one's got enough water for that. Right? So like, these berries that I just found after I walked for an hour, I'm going to put them back in the dirt, and then I'm going to wait till next year and come back when I'm really hungry. I don't think so. So it's really fascinating how the whole climate and environment of Australia actually determined the development and the technology and the society of humans in Australia for 40,000 years. They were like ruled by the environment. Ruled. They had nothing that you could plant one thing of it and you'll get a lot more. There are no native grain crops, no domesticable animals. Everything else is trying to kill you, right? And then all the water was, well, elsewhere. There is one continent on the earth that is drier than Australia. It's called Antarctica. Exactly. And then, we got water. You got to lick some ice. Yeah, exactly. So it's really fascinating. But this was the thing that when scientists first came to Australia in the 19th century, they thought they could see these people had been here for thousands of years, and they couldn't figure out why they hadn't done anything. It's like, guys, you're still falling around with these bits of rock and sticks, and like you didn't even grow corn. Like, you're trying to live here for a while, okay? You're trying to live here, just come and live here for a bit. And suddenly they're like, oh, you gotta be kidding me, quick! I'll send a letter on the boat to England. Oh, get the cows over here, dude, and bring some corn. So, it's like, Australia's like this is a totally weird country. It's made of a bunch of leftovers, and then it has a whole bunch of stuff that we didn't get that everybody else got. It's really, really weird. It's actually, and this is one of the other things, one thing we do have, fortunately, is Australian continent is one of the oldest land masses. One of the oldest land masses. And this is probably the reason why we haven't got a whole bunch of stuff, because we separated, that bit of land separated from everybody else so long ago, before all the other animals moved over to our area, right? So we've just got a whole bunch of weirdos. And then, because of that though, because Australia, the continent, is so old, geologically, it's really, really stable. We have ex-volcanoes, okay? We got volcanoes that used to be active like thousands of years ago. They're all dead, right? We don't have earthquakes. Australia is right on the middle of one plate. All the other plates near us are like far away. The joins are far away. So we don't get earthquakes. The whole place is really stable. It's like, okay, we're done here. Nothing's gonna change. That's it, finished, whatever. Just get out of here and go somewhere interesting like, Russia. Yeah. The only thing we get of any real value is we have insane amounts of minerals. Oh, hang on, come with me, I gotta find my friend, hang on. Sorry, dude. Hey. How's everything?
他不太会笑。
真是比菲多多，等一下，哥哥，你要不是跟他叫比菲多多，要先练舞，这是不是？我刚看你是哪张专辑出了这首《粉红超人》，好像还有另外一首歌哎。
没错，因为其实刚刚大家听到这首歌《粉红超人》呢，它其实是在叙述说，每一个人只要有心都可以变成一个粉红超人。粉红色就像一个爱心一样，超人人人都想成为，但是很简单的事情就可以变成超人。那当然，有了粉红超人之后，就会有美丽的新世界出现了。所以另外一首歌就叫做《美丽新世界》。
好，那我们这个刚刚听完了，热情又有活力，又充满了粉红新世界的粉红超人之外，现在我们的比菲多多要带给大家美丽新世界了，掌声欢迎！
好的，接下来这首歌呢是多多哥哥之前呢创作的一首歌，那是给小朋友听的，所以小朋友待会儿也可以把你的手机寄给我，我们一起来动一动。另外呢，在我们今天活动现场呢，多多呢也有提供我们的爱心义卖，也就是可以在现场买得到我的
ethno-historian and an environmental historian, and he actually wrote a book about why some places human technology got really good really quick, and why some places didn't get anywhere. And he gets to us, and he talks about Australia. It's like, these guys got nothing. Like, they're going absolutely nowhere. The only thing that we had is minerals, right? We have some of the world's largest iron mines, and we got iron, we got tin, we got copper, we got zinc, we got aluminum, we got bauxite, we got graphite. Pretty much anything that you want to use for industry, we got. We have some of the world's largest and richest diamond mines. There are some bigger diamond mines. They're in Russia, and that's not a surprise because Russia's got like about 25% of the world's land mass. We also have insane amounts of coal, ridiculous amounts of gold that they have been digging out for about 150 years, and we're still digging it out. Mining industry in Western Australia, for example, is huge, and everything about it is huge. One of my uncles used to work in the mining industry, and my grandfather, who was a film producer, used to make documentaries for the mining industry. So I've seen a lot of footage, and everything about it is like supersized. You see the trucks, for example. The trucks are 3 to 5 stories high, right? And then you see hilarious photos of where this truck, one of their work trucks, has run over a normal-sized truck. Like a normal-sized truck which is already 10 feet high. And this one ran over like boom boom. Oh, sorry, what was that? Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there underneath my 3-story wheel. So, and they're like crushed, flattened. Yeah, exactly. And then you think that the trucks are big, and then the trucks get stuff put in them by the crane and the digger, and the crane puts stuff in it by the digger, and the digger's like, the digger's nearly the size of that building.
Oh, you mean?
Yeah. Diggers are nearly the size of that building. Shorter, but at least as long and at least as wide.
You mean the
and they're
bucket
just
excavator?
huge. Yeah, and they've got a great big boom with a big digging engine on the end. And then all that stuff gets put on the train. The trains are up to 6 kilometers long, and they take an hour to drive through the station. 6 kilometers a train. Exactly. Everything is just a scale you can't even believe. But that's the whole point of mining industry. You have to do it on that scale so it's economical. Oh, by the way, that's right. We also have like some of the world's largest uranium deposits as well.
Nuclear weapon.
Yeah, and we don't even use it. We dig it up. No, in Australia we actually have a law that against nuclear power. You're not allowed to build. We have one experimental nuclear reactor only for scientific research, and it's very small. But